Welcome everyone to Pre-Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin. Joel, it really does feel like a summer Friday in the markets today. Just looking around, there's not a lot of headlines. There's not even that many big movers. There are some stocks moving, but the overall market of the S&Ps, um, quiet, trying, but could not quite get to all-time highs. It remains elusive, and if you look at like a heat map, you see a lot of like lukewarm green and lukewarm red. Just a lot of nothing really today.
Yeah, we had weak tech in the morning. That made a comeback. We rallied into the 70 handle, got just over that high close for the move at 33.70 and just kind of been leaking here slow. We are at an important level here. We are at Thursday's low of 57.50. So we are on daily support here. So if Mr. Market wants to turn around and make a run for a higher close, I think this would be the level we emanate from. But we'll see right here trading at Thursday's low. We have crude. Crude is trading in the red today, not by much though. It's only trading in the red by 11 cents. Still very quiet trading ranges here in crude over forever. Gold is in the red by $19.50. Tried to muster a rally. That's at 1950.90. Silver in the red too by 1.33 cents at 26.38. And Bitcoin going the opposite direction of the metals. That's up $350 at 11,940. Let me bring my charts in here for you. Could better illustrate here what I'm talking about here in the S&Ps. But here we are. Nice shot. If you want to buy at Thursday's low, we're right here, right now.
Okay, let's start with this rocket here, RKT. They said that this morning's pre-announcement was going to be a one-time thing. They are going to release their full second quarter report on September 2nd, but they were just so excited about their best quarter ever that they wanted to just get the news out there now. It was their best quarter ever, they said in the release, and the market does not seem to really care.
Yeah, it got the pop off here and rallied a little bit off the open, still sold. I mean, what else can you say except for 1750? I mean, that's the only level I could.
18,
Yeah.
18 is, and
Well,
those,
18 was the IPO price.
right.
1750 was. I'll put more on that low the first day. That's where my emphasis is, and then we'll see if it's defended at the IPO price. S&Ps is bouncing off Thursday's low there. We're back at 30.60. So looks like the buy the dippers here, like Thursday's low. We're at 30.60 and a quarter. We'll see. Not much else to say except that about 1750.
I mean, you guys sometimes say that this chart looks like it wants to do this or it wants to do that. And I take one look at Rocket and it looks like it wants to go down, right? So, I mean, again, we're going off a week's worth of trading data, but just
You know
look.
what? We'll give it another week to shake out, and then we'll grab Mr. Eric Kroll, our IPO expert, and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, I'm still working with Jason on trying to get someone from Rocket on the show. So TBD on that. And then the other big mover of the day really is just DraftKings here. I mean, this one was weak in the pre-market. They too had earnings. The earnings were good. I mentioned that I was surprised that their sales grew on a year-over-year basis. I mean, the EPS, the earnings per share, missed estimates badly, but their sales beat. Like I said, they're more revenue year over year.
Yeah.
Stock got sold in the pre-market and never really stood a chance today.
Hasn't done much, has it? Not really. Let's look at the pre-market action compared to what we have here. And I don't know. I think people are just hopeful that sports is going to be back on the table soon, and people are going to be wagering. So not a bad day. I mean, still holding that 32 support, and really, I'd say just overall nothing day.
And actually, we didn't mention this morning, but I saw it on Twitter this morning that DraftKings or that the IRS had made a ruling that entry fees in DraftKings on DraftKings and FanDuel are taxable by the IRS. So it may be
a little, yeah, the government get involved. That never can be a good thing.
I guess not. All right. I want to go to the chat. Actually, before we go to the chat, just a reminder that I expect we'll get some 13Fs after the close
Sure.
today.
Yep.
The only ones that typically really move markets are Berkshire Hathaway. Well, really, just Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett can move stocks by himself. Bill Ackman can
Yep.
be influential. Icon can be influential, but really, it's Berkshire. And again, I would expect that we get them after the close today, because today is, I think isn't today the 45 day? Today marks 45 days from the end of the quarter.
Yeah, just be aware that, when these were done in the quarter, they're not like, if they're saying they're buying ABC,
Right.
they weren't buying ABC today.
Right.
They were doing that a while ago. So, sometimes they're fade moves. Sometimes if you get on them quickly, you can go
Yep,
with the momentum. But just be aware that this is old information.
for sure.
And Icon, where's he been? Where's
Well,
Mr. Icon
oh,
been?
he got out of Hertz.
Yeah,
So
hurts, don't it? Doesn't it? Yeah. Now he's just been quiet, and I know he joined Buffett and Occidental Petroleum, but he hasn't been making waves. I hope he's doing well. Maybe
he, he's involved in Xerox. He took a 11% stake in Xerox recently. So XRX.
maybe we'll hear some things from Mr. Icon. But just remember, folks, this is old information you're trading
Yep.
off.
A hedge fund could have bought or sold a stock on April 1st, and that information will be disclosed today. So that's how long ago that this could have happened. All right, let's go to the chat. There are some tickers that are being dropped in there. I want to get to someone, I forget who, but somebody mentioned Pinterest. We can look at that.
How is Pins doing?
Well, we talked about it a week or so ago, and it was just could not stop, and it stopped going up.
Didn't the CEO? I thought I saw Dennis tweet out a while ago that the CEO unloaded some stock. Was that true, or is that something? Maybe take a look at Pro.
I wouldn't be surprised. Who isn't selling their stock at this point?
I don't know. I don't know. Not if we're breaking out the new all-time highs. I don't know why anybody would do that, but it's hanging out. I mean, will it give up that gap? I mean, that's the only thing that you really got to be concerned about. Jeremy seems to think that it's a gap and go, and that's holding that low. Actually, I'd go up a little bit higher than that, and I would look at the low for this week as that coincides with the low that you had a few sessions ago. Let me get you those exact numbers for you. The low you had on Wednesday was 33.56, and you had another low in that area. So if you want to play it a little bit closer to the belt, keep an eye on that low for this week, 33.56, for more potential downside here in PINS. As far as the upside goes, you got some sellers here over 36. We'll see if it can muster a rally.
This Fastly chart is just brutal. The company came out on August 5th. They reported an amazing quarter. They raised their guidance too. They beat on the earnings and they raised their guidance. There's not much else they could have said that would have made this any better. And completely.
Yeah. A lot of people trying to pick a bottom in this one, folks. And you know what? I don't think the bottom's fallen out yet. Not until you take out that low at 72.55. But you know what? This kind of looks heavy too. I mean, you got that pop, not the immediate turnaround, snuck over 80 for just a little bit, but very important to hold that low now and moving back towards that. So take half of that move that you've had. What did you have a move from 72 to 82, 77? So important for this to get back over and hold 77.
And then a question. Let me go to the chat here, see who it was. Dave Wilder wants to know where the support is right now in AMD.
What's AMD doing here? Is it
nothing? Everything's doing nothing today. It's down.
It's down 343. Up day, down day. I know Triple D's got that spread on. He loves it. I don't know, man. Let me get the AMD here. Boy, what is up with my charts here? AMD down 50 cents. Oh, that's not a bad day for AMD here. Uh, I would just lean on that low that you had a few days ago. Held had to rally off the low. Kind of like to see it take out that high from yesterday and make a challenge at old time highs. That's what I'm looking at for that. After that low for this week, man, potential gap fill, but that all depends what Mr. Market does.
And then, here's one from this morning we didn't get to. Grow Generation, GRWG, cannabis play, total breakout here the past couple days. GRWG, Joel. So this is not WG. Yep, they had earnings yesterday morning.
That is, and that's your 2-day move for you there, folks. Took out yesterday's high, continuing higher. We'll just right at the highs of the session as well. So nice 2-day move, 2 big green candles here. You'll be looking to follow. I mean, we're still at the highs of the session. The session high, 13.25. Currently trading 13.15. So nothing not to like about that chart. Let's see, you just pressed through that 13.25. S&Ps dipped to 56. That really wasn't too much under yesterday's low. Nothing really to shake a stick at. Yesterday's low, 57.5. We got the 56, but the dippers are right back in here, back up at 33.63.
Hey, I just brought up Dillard for the first time today. I mean, for the first time since the open.
And did it give it back?
Take a look for yourself. It actually, I'm surprised at what was the high of the day? 30, what's that, 32?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just a fade. I mean, it's a lot of people underwater on this stock. Still going to end up nicely green on the session. A little bit trickier though. Shorting the open would have, you would have taken some heat as it went to 31.93. But once it came back down through that open, you probably could have got a nice trade off. So not nearly anywhere where, I mean, the pre-market, this thing is thin. It's, there's not a lot in there. So, someone got some higher prints in there, but that 32, actually, if we would have played a little closer attention, and I don't know if I did mention this on the show, you had a gap fill at 31.35. This is coming back from June 10th. And that's where you got above it, but not much. You still would have been a good sale. Only went 60 cents higher than that, and now went down to 29.05. Don't know if we're going to see a gap fill at 28.27, but Dillard's giving a little back.
And then speaking of retail, next week is the week for retail earnings. We're going to get Alibaba, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, Foot Locker, BJ's, L-Brands, TJ Maxx, Lowe's, Kohl's, JD, Ross Stores, even Lazy Boys next week. So a lot. Next week is the week for retail earnings. I think a little bit the week after too. I think Costco might be in 2 weeks, but next week is the main week for retail earnings, and we'll have Ryan Craver on.
Yeah, how about that for timing? What's the RLT? Is that the what's the index?
XRT.
XRT. I knew I was at. Yeah, well, good timing having Mr. Kramer on. Craver, not Kramer. No, Jim Kramer's not coming on the show. But the index just bunching up at top, not quite all-time highs here. But retail, I mean, there's been some winners and some losers in the retail sector. We talked about Best Buy this morning, and that has been a Best Buy. A new all-time high in this today. What a march this has been on. They gave some comparable stores. That's when you had that gap up back in July, and that was a gap and go with a capital G on that one. I think it's had 3 down days over that period, and the biggest one has been like 60 or 70 cents. So that's what you're looking at. Who knows when this? I do some trend lines earlier this morning. But it's got its report on the 25th of August. So you could just like ramp up into, just keep leaking higher into that report, and then big expectations, of course, on the report. S&P's back, almost back at unch here, folks. Down $1.50, 66.25.
I swear it's a whole lot of nothing today, Joel. Today feels like a summer Friday if I've ever felt one, because it just feels like everything is coming back to unchanged. Kind of the way it feels like.
It is. Tesla's having a nice day too. Did give some back. I hope Raz did executed his plan and sold some of his calls today.
Why don't you pull up a Tesla weekly? Because I feel like there may be some hard resistance on that. Do you see
Let's see if I can format. I'll go to the. Actually, I didn't even have to do that. I think I could have just punched W in the chart. That level that we talked about in the pre-market, I think 1685. That matched that high right there. So a lot of people were getting their money back at that high. You had 1689 high. This is back on July 23rd, and then you lost a lot of momentum. So all the buyers between here and there in 3 days after looking at the lower what did we get to 1300 there? Yeah, 1365, 1370. Ringing the register, not like a huge reversal or anything. But you got a good level moving forward. Did not 1668.50. So if you wanted to get that thing at 1675, 1680, certainly had to do that in the pre-market trading.
Should note that I think next Friday is the record date for the Tesla split. So if you want to participate in that split, then you have a week to buy and then not sell Tesla. 3:57 now. We got about 2 minutes left in today's session. I'll just do a couple more tickers from the chat or that I had written down this morning. Dion's asking about WDC, which we've talked about here, maybe not for a couple of days, but we talked about when they had their earnings. And this is a weekly. Let me pull up a daily here.
This thing is just trending lower since that earnings. Taking out the low, doesn't look like you're going to get that undercut and rally yet today. Just out of favor here, and they haven't even come close to sniffing that high on earnings day. You had a couple lows in one area, then a flush down, trying to get a couple lows in the same area. So hanging on here. I hate to say, but that March low in Western Digital could be on the radar here. That was 30.20. That's $5 away, but not much. I mean, considering the other stocks, in this sector, bad relative performance, and now making a new low for the move. So, and it rebounded, had a nice rebound, but not like some of these other tech stocks.
Yeah, so the week started with a vaccine from Russia, right? That was going to save the world, and it's kind of ending on what feels like just a whimper here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, overall, let's take a look at the index, and for the week, really didn't do much after the vaccine announcement. I got ADS up there. I mean, you got four, including the pre-market session. You got 4 highs in that same area, and there it is. That's going to be our target for next week. Overall, your big tech wasn't strong today, but it was picked up by other sectors, which is good. We got a couple lows to lean on for Thursday and Friday on the downside, and I'll be anxious to see, above this 33.8250, which is the high for the week, the high for the rebound. Who knows what's 3,400 and beyond? And if you're looking for any kind of meaningful breakdown in this market, it's not going to happen until you take out 33.56, which is today's low, and that was buffeted by Thursday's low at 57.50.
All right, we're about to close here, but we'll do one more. Let's look at INO here. I mean, the good news in INO is you got a couple of positive days in a row. There's that bell. You've got a low to lean on for now, which I guess is that's something.
You want to see it get in this gap area for INO. This is another vaccine play, right? Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, just a brutal week.
Yeah, brutal week for it. Winners and losers in this, but what was that high that you had on the gap down day? That was 1670. You got to 1606 today. So that 1670 important level for next week. We're $2 away from that.
All right, you heard the bell. That means we're closed. That means it is time for the weekend. So everyone, please remember all the information from our broadcast are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate that. Just do that one thing and then you can leave. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And Joel and I will be back with you on Monday morning.
All right, man.